all of you. I'm Dr. Chaitra Bharat and I extend a very warm welcome to our guest, Professor K.S. Rangappa sir, and all the participants on Zoom on behalf of Phoenix Academy, Mysore. So as usual, before we start our webinar, I'd like to lay down the rules for you. So all participants, please keep your audio and video off at all times. If you have any queries, please put it in the chat box and we will take all your questions after the speaker has finished his speech or presentation. If you have any queries, please put it in the chat box. The link to download the e-certificate will be provided in the chat box. Please keep an eye out so that you don't miss it because it has only a 24-hour window for you to download your e-certificates. So before we start, I'd love to introduce our guest today, Professor Rangappa. Many of you know who he is. He's a very famous personality, at least in Karnataka and down south. Professor Rangappa has made novel and significant contributions to the chemical biology drug discovery program, bioorganic and medicinal chemistry. His research is characterized by both novelty and innovation. Professor Rangappa received his PhD from the University of Mysore in 1982 and has worked as postdoctoral fellow, research associate, visiting professor at several universities in Canada, USA, Germany, Japan, Korea, Poland, Russia, and UK. He has been awarded the DSc degree from the University of Mysore for his independent research contribution. He is the Fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry, Fellow of National Academy of Sciences, and Fellow of Indian Science Congress. Apart from the research activities of his own group, Professor Rangappa has developed several national and international collaborative research programs with more than 300 scientists working across the globe. Professor Rangappa has published 485 research papers in national and international peer-reviewed journals and presented more than 150 research papers in conferences. He has 10 patents in the area of medicinal chemistry for the discovery of small molecule inhibitors of therapeutic targets. He has the scientific citations of 8,030 for his research contributions, and as of now his H index is 45. He served as the Vice Chancellor of University of Mysore and Karnataka State Open University between the years 2009 and 2013. Recently, Professor Rangappa served as the General President for the 107th Indian Science Congress. In addition, he has been appointed as Chief Scientific Advisor to Senator Pharmaceuticals Company and also serving as the Distinguished Professor and UGC BSR Faculty Fellow at University of Mysore. I extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for coming on our webinar. It has definitely increased the status of our webinars, I think. I welcome Dr. Rangappa to this webinar and I hand it over to him now. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chaitra, for giving a lot of inputs to the audience. I don't know whether I really fit in or not. But yesterday, good evening, everyone who have participated in this webinar. Yesterday, our Honorable Prime Minister has come out with a lot of visions for the future generation, particularly to the youngsters in the field of education, particularly discussing the National Education Policy 2020. We all heard each and every step of our Honorable Prime Minister. Anyway, let me go over to my view about the National Education Policy 2020. You all know education is fundamental for achieving full human potential. It's no secret that a good education has the power to build a character enabling one to be ethical, rational, and compassionate. Providing universal access to quality education is the key to the country's continued ascent and leadership on the global stage in terms of economic growth, social justice and equality, scientific advancement, national integration and cultural preservation. Universal high-quality education is the best way forward for developing and maximizing our country's rich talents and resources for the good of the individual, society, the country, and the world. India's socio-economic growth in the past has been largely possible through various policy reforms, of which education plays a significant role. The National Education Policy 2020 is the first education policy of the 21st century. It has aimed at addressing many growing developmental imperatives of our country. The vision of any education policy should aim to instill among the learners a deep-rooted pride in being Indian, not only in thought, but also in spirit, intellect, and deeds, and develop knowledge, skills, and values that support responsible commitment to the human rights. The National Education Policy is a comprehensive framework to guide the development of education in the country. The shelf life of any nation building policy needs to be long enough to accommodate short, medium, and long-term strategies. Now let me talk on the important reforms brought in the new education policy currently. Number one, common entrance exam is conducted for admission in higher education institutions. The preference of the university entrance is similar. The common entrance exam will be offered by the National Testing Agency for admission to higher education institutions. Conducting the common test by National Testing Agency will help the most universities to take up admissions based on the performance and talents exhibited by each individual rather than devising their own entrance exams, thus reducing burden to the students, colleges, and the entire education system. However, it is left up to the individual universities and colleges to use National Testing Agency assessments for their admissions. Facility of multiple entry and exit system is provided. The structure and lengths of degree programs can be adjusted accordingly. The undergraduate degree will be of either 3 or 4 years of duration with multiple exit options within this period. With appropriate certifications like certificate after completing 1 year in a discipline or field including vocational and professional areas, or a diploma after 2 years of study, or a bachelor's degree after a 3-year program. There is a change in board exam pattern. It's good to see that under the new education policy, provisions are made to make board exams easier. Students as well as parents were under great stress regarding board exams, which have been said to be reduced, but the board examinations are continued as usual for grades 10 and 12. Board exams will be made easy as they will mainly test core abilities, competencies, rather than coaching or memorizing them. The guidelines would be prepared by NCERT with SCERTS Board of Assessment and PARAKH proposed new national assessment centers and so on. However, along with board exams, alternative ways are to be thought which ensures continuous evaluation of a student. Professional standards are applied for teachers. Teachers truly shape the future of our children and therefore future of our nation. Hence, motivation and empowerment of teachers is required for our best possible future. One of the highlights of the new education policy is a general guiding set of national professional standards for teachers, which will be developed by the National Council of Technical Education, what is called NCTE, by 2022. The policy has stated that by 2030, teacher education will be gradually shifted to multidisciplinary colleges and universities. By 2030, the minimum degree qualification of teaching is 4-year integrated BA degree. So, presently we have a lot of monofaculty universities and colleges, but it should be converted into multi-faculty universities and colleges, which is very important. The institutions will also have the options to run open distance learning and online programs provided they are accredited to do so. Emphasis is given on Sanskrit and other regional languages. The new education policy approved by the Union Cabinet has proposed for the establishment of the Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation, with a significant emphasis on Sanskrit and other Indian languages. Another feature of the policy is that Sanskrit will be made mainstream with strong offerings in the school, including one of the language options in the 3-language formula, as well as higher education. Sanskrit universities will also be pushed towards becoming large multidisciplinary institutions of higher education. Apart from this, it has been said to promote the regional languages in the education world. Most of the government schools in the country are doing this already. As far as private schools are concerned, it is unlikely that they will be asked to change their medium of instruction. The renewed emphasis on the mother tongue will help in promoting multilingualism. The exclusion of English until class 5 may prove to be a roadblock in learning for students as a medium of instruction inadvertently shifts to English in higher grades. However, the national education policy has not said anything specifically on the children of parents with transferable jobs, but acknowledges children living in multilingual families. Vocational education has been brought under the ambit of new education policy. The biggest feature of the new education policy is that school education, higher education, along with agricultural education, legal education, medical education, and technical education have been brought under its ambit. The policy commits to significantly raise the educational investment, as there is no better investment toward the society's future than the high quality education of our young people. The government has set a target to put 6% of GDP in education, which is now 4.43%, which is really appreciable. It is appreciable that along with education, investment is also focused on critical elements with components of education, such as learning resources, nutritional support, student safety, and their well-being. National Education Policy 2020 is bringing NRF, means National Research Foundation, on the lines of NSF, like in National Science Foundation of United States. This will include not only science, but also social sciences. It will finance large projects. This will help us to come forward in research along with education, which is definitely helpful for the brain researchers. Higher education institutes should focus on research and innovation by setting up technology development centers, incubation centers, as well and well-established laboratories for interdisciplinary research. In times of the epidemics and pandemics like the one existing now, the collaborative research is to be given provision, which helps to manage infectious diseases and develop the vaccines, which means we must develop the collaboration, which collaborative research project with various countries. In school education, the policy focuses on overhauling the curriculum, easier board exams, reduction in the syllabus, retain core essentials, and have given thrust on experimental learning and critical thinking. In a significant shift from the 1986 policy, which pushed for a 10+2 structure of the school education, the new National Education Policy 2020 pitches for 5+3+3+4 design corresponding to the fundamental education from Anganwadi or preschool to class 2 up to 8 years. Preparatory education from class 3 to class 5 up to 11 years. Middle education class from class 6 to class 8 up to 14 years. And secondary education up to class 12. The National Education Policy has proposed sweeping changes, including opening up of Indian higher education to foreign universities. It will be good for the student who wants to get an education of international standards within the country. An emotionally safe environment is provided for girls. Kasturba Gandhi Girls Schools will be expanded. It has been suggested to provide the safe environment for girls to continue their education. India has made progress. Education is recognized as a fundamental right. Access to education at different stages has increased dramatically, and important curricular reforms have been made. The policy has focused on high quality early childhood care and education available for all children, which is critical to lay a strong foundation for learning and development throughout life. However, equity and equality of education still remain as a massive challenge. While we have established some world-class institutions, we are still struggling to create effective learning opportunities and environments for all our students. Emphasizing on equity and inclusivity, the real outcome of the national education policy would be realized when the children in poor and rural areas get access to education. An effective implementation of the reform measures underlined in the new national educational policy will require enhanced spending by the government on education, including a better infrastructure, pedagogy, research, and development activities. In the coming time, we shall hope to see bright young adults with innovative approach towards work and life. Instead of pawns obsessing over marks and mugging up bookish knowledge. Change is possible if all the measures introduced in National Education Policy 2020 are implemented in a structured way. Let's all follow and adopt the new reforms of our National Education Policy 2020 and work for the betterment of our society. Take a good care of your health at this tough times I wish you all good luck. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my views.
Thank you so much, sir. That was very comprehensive. I'm sure a lot of us got a good insight into what the NEP 2020 holds for us. So we have a few questions in the chat box, and I'll just tell you those questions, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Sabrishan CK wants to know, does the NEP 2020 bridge the gap between the academic and professional education, resulting in competencies that the economic development calls for?
I did not
So
catch.
he wants to know whether NEP 2020
Yeah.
has any provision to bridge the gap between the academic world and the industry.
Yeah, of course. Even now today it is there, but if you implement properly, giving importance to each and every steps that has been taken in 2020, I am sure it bridges between the education and the economic growth. Definitely, yes. Industries should be supported by the academicians and vice versa.
Right.
This has to go. But until now, this part of the system was not at all there. Now was there, but not to greater extent.
Yeah. Sir, and Ms. Dr. Dundaya wants to know how are performing arts like music, dance, and drama will be adopted in NEP?
You know, that's why I made a mention that we should not have a monofaculty universities. We must have multi-faculty institutions. Like you open up any number of universities, but a university means we should have all disciplines, including engineering, medicine, music, arts, everything. It should be, it should be multiple. Then only people can upgrade their knowledge and impart to the public. That's very important. That's why even probably one of the that's individual. When you start up universities, giving importance to music and the art, definitely it should. In my opinion, it's a part of the curricula. It's a part of the education policy.
Right. So we already have the CBCS system in Mysore University, sir. So Dr. Dundaya, we already have that in Mysore University where postgraduate students can actually choose minor subjects from any of the departments, and every Saturday they would be, learning in a different department other than what the subject that they're majoring in. So probably NEP wants most of the universities to adopt this multi-subject approach to education so that students can actually mix and match whatever they like. A person who's doing chemistry could have an interest in drama and he could have a few credits for that. So I think that's the idea. In the US and UK, that is how the credit-based system works, and we're very happy to probably do this in India at a larger scale now. Yeah. So do you think NEP will help would our education be back to how it was during the Gurukul system, where they used to teach us a lot of mixture of things like life skills?
Yeah, but as and when you have to upgrade your knowledge, whenever, research is not stagnant. It's, you have to update the knowledge. We see National Education Policy 2020 to update the knowledge of the latest. You know what other countries are doing, like United States, Europe, or China. Unless you update by yourself, it's very difficult to come out with all these important academic matters. So therefore, whenever we find that we must update our knowledge, and academically and otherwise, then only you can say, oh yeah, India is doing really better than or on par with the other Western countries, Yeah. Right now, for example, if you take a drug discovery program, we do not have indigenous our own drugs. We always get from others. So therefore, you must update our knowledge. We must encourage our youngsters to update the knowledge through this, at least, education policy, and see whether they are useful to the society.
Right. So, Mr. Ramchandra VA wants to know what is the impact of NEP 2020 on higher education? I think, yeah.
In my
Please go ahead.
view, I have given enough.
Yeah.
Say, for example, a lot of options they have given. If you want to study 1 year, you'll get the certificate. If you want to cut down the second year, you'll get the diploma, or 4 years, 3 years degree, 4 years master's degree, and so on. It is good, depending on how good you are, how best you can do it, depending on your knowledge, and you can certainly get the degrees, and then you look for accordingly for your future. I mean, new educational policy, of course, there's a lot of options, provided if you implement properly, letter and spirit. That's what I mean. You must implement properly the education system. Say they have to give, they said 6.3 or 4% GDP. They are going to earmark for the education, which is really good. Yeah, the education is very important. It's a fundamental right of any human being. Therefore, we must give importance to education. Of course, they are, if you implement properly.
Yeah. And Mr. Gautama says there's a lot of confusion with the regional language up till 5th standard issue. So can you please be
No, that what
clarify that?
new education policy is says 3 language formula, correct? With your mother tongue as one up to level 5, right? Up to level 5, your mother tongue, and as well as 2 other you select. They are insisting that the Sanskrit should be there. Okay, that's fine. After 5, you can choose your language the way you want. If that option is there. But up to 5, of course, a mother, a boy or a child should learn their mother tongue. That's the intention of this. Everywhere, every country in the whole world, Japanese, they learn Japan. So like Germans, the boy learns German.
Yeah.
So he can develop. Learning more languages is always better and good. But mother tongue, of course, which is very good, what the government in the NEP 2020 says, you must learn up to level 5. So that you will not forget the mother tongue. That's the intention.
Yes. Mr. Sabrishan wants to know there's an acute shortage of doctors in the country as medical education is very expensive. So does the NEP address this, the cost of education?
No, I think they have not addressed individually. Probably it has included in the, making universities and giving importance to university. Probably one has to think in that particular item. Medical education particularly, I did not see anything but mainly on that. But it has, in my opinion, like any other universities, like engineer, basic universities, basic sciences, basic social sciences, and so on, medical education is also of that kind.
Right. Okay. Mr. Nagaraju Kikeri wants to know, by allowing foreign universities to function in our country, will it lead to elitism, affordability, and exclusion may creep in?
That, probably I can say yes, 50%. In another 50%, of course, which means our Indian university should be competitive. Say, for example, a foreign university comes here and, does well, but why not Indian universities? You can do. The foreign universities are housing for Indians. Where is the brain? The Indians' brain only. Why Indian universities should not do better than those foreign universities? You must have that kind of attitude. I mean, when you go out, probably when you go to United States or Germany, anywhere, if you have money, you can start, educational institutions. If you are really good, the people of the country, they'll join. If you are not good, it will go. That's only competition.
Yes. So Dr. Dundai also wants to know if the NEP is focusing on multidisciplinary universities, then what will be the status of special universities like Folk University, Sanskrit University and such?
No, I am telling you, the folklore, there, everything should be included in a university. University means, I have not seen in the whole world. I worked 10 different universities outside the country, including MIT. No university says this university is meant for chemistry, this university is meant for physics. No, every subject should be included in university. That's the name of that. Why you call university? I mean, every discipline should be included in the university. You can open up any number of universities. In each district, you can have universities, but all disciplines should be there. Now, gone are the days, the compartmentalization. It's a multifactorial. Even research also.
Yeah.
We need, say, for example, if I want to target a cancer patient, I want to discover some cancer, related drugs. I must need the help of biochemistry. I must need the help of physicists. I must need the help of mathematics, and so on, so on. I need everyone to discuss. I cannot go to consult a physics person to go to physics university. So likewise, if you have folklore, music, everything included in this university, I'm sure that university will be definitely, better than these monofaculty universities.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Mr. Ravi Kumar Keshavan is asking, does NEP reduce the size of the classroom in terms of strength of the class? In connection to the social distancing, should the schools and colleges look forward for additional working hours or hire additional spaces to accommodate the existing class?
You mean in reference to COVID-19 you were talking, or what?
Yes, yes.
See, COVID-19 is in the one time. Maybe after September, nothing will be there. Why do you, prepare for the universities keeping COVID-19 in mind? Like any other, viruses, this is also one. So keeping COVID-19, we cannot start up the educational institutions. Probably by next month, everything will be all right.
Yes, right. Okay. So how will the appointment of key officials like the vice chancellors to universities be different because of NEP?
Yeah, I did not see, that's one thing I have not seen in NEP. They make appointment of vice chancellors. See, if the appointments of vice chancellors are really good, then that university will be definitely good. I mean, I think NEP should give importance also equally to make sure that the vice chancellors are appointed highly, meritorious and relevant.
Yes. Dr. Shanti wants to know how separate research universities will be formed to focus on research quality.
Separate?
Research universities will be formed to focus on research quality.
No, NEP has given a lot of emphasis on research. They want to have collaboration. If you want to have collaboration with foreign universities, you can. And they are starting up NRF, like NSF in the United States of America, National Science Foundation, like NRF, they have started. If the student is really brainy, he can go to NRF and get any amount he wants. He can show off his brilliance. Yeah. There is a lot of scope for that.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir. That's all the questions from our audience. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your opinion on the NEP 2020. We're very glad to have us with you for this time. To all the participants, the certificate link has been given in the chat box. Please use it to generate your e-certificate. And we'll see you after 2 weeks, because we have the Independence Day next Saturday and then Ganesh Chaturthi on 22nd. So wishing you a very happy Independence Day next week and a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi and Gauri Habba to all of you. So we'll see you on the 29th of August with a new webinar on a new subject. Thank you so much.
Thank you.